Hello, Kerry. Welcome to my channel. I'm really,
Hello.
I'm really happy to have you here. Half year ago, I was in your channel sharing my story. Now it's your turn. I believe you have shared your story 100 plus times, maybe, but I believe many Estonians haven't heard it yet. So, because our carnivore community is now rapidly growing, today we have more than 3,000 people, yeah, and there are
Wow.
lots of newbies who are just sniffing around, collecting the information, and they probably haven't heard about you or your story. So, I would love to hear it and share it to my Estonian community. So, tell me, what led to that? When it was, and what did have changed for you?
Yeah, so my story, I was sick for a long time and I just kept getting sicker, and it started out with depression and anxiety, and over the years the depression got worse. I had IBS, I had arthritis, um, I had congestive heart failure as well. A couple of years ago, about 7 years ago, I was at home and I went to stand up and I got really dizzy and I couldn't find my words. I was kind of confused, and my wife was alarmed and she was like, "What's going on?" And she called 911 here in the US, and ambulance came and picked me up. I went to the hospital and I suffered a TIA mini stroke. And this was in my 30s. And at that point, I have this big bin of medication. I was on 10 to 15 different medications for depression, anxiety, IBS, for my heart. I had gout in my foot. And so when I went to the hospital, they're like, "What is wrong with this guy? He's in his 30s. He has all these health issues. Let's do some more tests." And they tested my heart and they diagnosed me with a TIA mini stroke. So I suffered a mini stroke. My lip was drooping. I was confused. And then after doing some more tests, I spent about 5 days in the hospital. They tested my heart and they said I had congestive heart failure. And basically, that means my heart couldn't keep up with the needs of my body. So, and I felt it too. I had all the symptoms. I would stand up and I'd get dizzy, and I was always fatigued and I was always tired. And so, yeah, those were many of my health issues. I'll say the worst issue for me out of everything though was the depression. It it just kept getting worse and worse over the years. And I tried everything. I went in for sort of the standard of care. I saw specialists and doctors and psychiatrists, and they put me on antidepressant medications. I remember the first time I went on the antidepressant medications, they said, "This is going to take like 3 months to know if it'll work or not. You really got to give it a shot." And I was so desperate and I was so hopeless. I would have tried anything at that point. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this for 3 months. I didn't want to be alive anymore. I was so depressed. And I tried the medication. I went 3 months and it did nothing. And I went back to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Oh, it's okay. We'll have to change the dosage. We'll up the dosage, but you're going to have to try another 3 months." And I did that, and it went on for like a year. And then they changed my medication, and I did it again. And I went through pretty much all of the major antidepressant medications, and none of them helped me. They turned me into, I just had no emotion. I'm still alive, but I had no emotion, and I just didn't want to live anymore. So yeah, that was kind of the worst of it. And then one day I was watching a YouTube video with my wife, and it was Dante Ferrigno from Ferrigno Freedom. And when I was hearing Dante's words, it was just like, this guy's me. This guy had depression, had IBS, had stomach issues. He had all the same things I had. He was overweight, he was unhealthy, and he said, "I'm going to try this uh, crazy diet, and I'm only going to eat meat." And I was like, "This guy's insane. You can't just eat meat. Like, you're going to die. I have congestive heart failure. If I eat meat, it's going to clog my arteries. I'm going to have a massive heart attack. Plus, it's expensive. Like, that's going to be boring. Like, there's no way you're going to be able to sustain that." And long story short, I noticed the video was actually 2 years old. And so I said to my wife, I'm like, "There's no way this guy's still eating meat. Let's go see his most recent video." So I went to his YouTube channel, I found his most recent video, and I couldn't even recognize Dante Ferrigno anymore. He looked like a completely different person. And of course, like humans are very visual. So I saw the weight loss, but that's not what impressed me. The weight loss was impressive. What impressed me was he was smiling. He was happy. His face was glowing. He was just overflowing with joy. And he was just, I remember him saying, "It's amazing what's happening to me." And he was shocked. Like he couldn't believe it himself. And then I was starting to question things too, because usually when you hear something like that, there's a motivation, there's an incentive. Like, it's amazing what happened to me. Now buy my diet program for $10,000 or something, or there's a supplement or something. And there was nothing. He's just like, I just ate meat and like all this healed. And it really fired me up. I was so desperate, I would have tried anything. And so I decided to do some more research because I still thought he was crazy. But I watched all of Dr. Berry videos. I learned about Dr. Philip Ovadia, a heart surgeon who's performed thousands of heart surgeries, because I was still concerned about my heart. Dr. Ovadia has been doing this for like 10 years, advocating it for his patients, saying, stay off my operating table. And I finally decided I'm going to try this. I'm going to give it 30 days, and then I'm going to go back to moderation. And I approach this, what really helped me and advice I give to people, I didn't say, I'm just going to eat meat for the rest of my life because that's crazy. I can't wrap my brain around it. I didn't even say I'm going to eat meat for 30 days. I just said, I am so sick and desperate. I'm going to try a strict elimination diet for 30 days. I'm going to get rid of the seed oils and the junk food and the carbohydrates and all of this stuff for 30 days. Then I'll go back to whatever. And yeah, that's exactly what I did. And I started feeling amazing pretty quickly into it.
Mm. Wow. Your story is so relatable. Here too, so many problems with the heart and depression. And also my husband had depression, panic attacks 10 years ago. And he was also taking different medicaments, like 8 months. And then luckily he figured it out that it's not working. And then he started to look different ways to heal. And it took about 10 years once
Mm,
we found this carnivore diet, and it changed everything for us. So
wow.
for your story is also so inspiring, I guess, for many Estonians, and also the hard part, because lots of people still think that the fat is bad, the meat is bad, and I can't do this diet because then I'm gonna kill myself. But you are the example that you had heart problem, and you have done this diet now how long time?
Yeah, I just surpassed 1,000 days. And I'm glad you said those two things because that's the reason I'm so passionate about this, the heart and depression. I just think right now, there's millions and millions of people hopelessly depressed,
Mhm.
and they're being led down the wrong path. And the only path they're being led down is the one that makes the hospitals and pharmaceuticals more money, but they're never told about this. It's just drives me insane. And the heart thing too. I was scared starting because of my heart. And now knowing what I know, we have been completely misled. We have been so misled. Our heart disease is caused from insulin resistance and inflammation. And the best way in the world, without a doubt, to get rid of insulin resistance and inflammation is eating a proper human diet, a carnivore diet. It gets rid of all of those things. And anyone watching this, like I urge you, do more research. There's lots of studies and things that have shown this. Dr. Ovadia has talked about this. Everyone's like, oh, you eat meat, it raises your cholesterol. There's like 14 other things that affect heart disease way more than eating meat. Eating meat is negligible, and it's not even a concern. Like you're 14 times more likely to have heart disease. I believe it's 14 or 11 times more likely to have heart disease if you have insulin resistance and inflammation, if you're pre-diabetic, if you're eating a standard American diet. It damages your blood vessels. The cholesterol goes there to repair it, and we blame the cholesterol. It's been debunked decades ago, but people still believe it. It's so hard to break free from that. But people believe it because I'm not like a big conspiracy theorist, but it's just incentives wrong. And these hospitals and companies, corporations, they make billions and billions of dollars. If you demonize red meat, you sell a ton more processed food and junk food and pharmaceuticals, and every incentive points that way. So they're doing exactly what they need to do to sell more junk food. and they demonize red meat and people believe it. And then they say, I guess I'm going to go eat a salad. Person goes, eats a salad for 2 or 3 days. They're starving. And then they end up eating more junk food and more carbohydrates and more processed garbage and the 60,000 products that are in the grocery store that aren't meat. So yeah, I encourage people, like, if you're scared to start carnivore, that's good. You have questions, but almost every one of your questions, they're out there. Like, they've been asked and answered. Dr. Barry has so many incredible videos on all of these topics and can explain them. So I always encourage people to do some more research and think about what'll happen if you're scared to start a proper human diet. Where are you going to be 5 years from now doing whatever you were doing that led you to this point? That's what I would be terrified. Like, I think, oh my goodness, if I never found this, I may not even be alive right now. Or if I was, I'd probably be 300 pounds and on the verge of having a heart attack. Like, what if we didn't find this? That's more of a scary thing to think about, in my opinion.
Exactly. Like, try at least 30 days. This is my approach also, that you don't have to make the lifetime changing. Like, it's too difficult to change. Like, oh, I can't never eat any carbs. I love pizza. I love this. I love that. But within these 30 days, you probably have so good feedback that you will never want to go back there when you feel
Yes.
so exhausted, tired, brain fog, pain here, pain there, like and weight gain also. You had lots of weight, I remember.
Yeah. Yeah. So the 30-day thing too, I always tell people, it seems like so long, it goes so quick in the grand scheme of your life to give this 30 days and try it. So when I went carnivore, within the first 30 days, I stopped snoring almost immediately. My mood started improving. My depression didn't go away instantly, but my mood started improving within like 2, 3 weeks. And the big thing that happened for me is the brain fog. Like, I knew I had brain fog before, but once it started clearing, I had no idea the extent of the brain fog. And that has been a pattern I've seen with hundreds of carnivores I've interviewed now for the documentary and for my YouTube channel. They all say that same thing. I knew I had brain fog. I had no idea the depths of it. And it's so true. The aches and pains you mentioned too, I had all of those. I had this pain in my back for years. And what happens when you have it for weeks and weeks, months and months, years and years, that brain fog becomes normal. The
Hmm.
aches and pains become your new normal. And you just feel like, oh, that's just the way it always is. And it's not until you have the absence of those things that you truly appreciate, like, how clearly you can see and think. But yeah, so brain fog went away for me. The mood started improving. My IBS, my stomach issues, within like 2 or 3 weeks on carnivore, I'm like, I feel like I don't have a stomach anymore. It always hurt. It was always bloating. It always just was heavy. And that just went away within a couple of weeks. So I had a lot of changes pretty quickly for me. Now that I've been carnivore over 1,000 days, um, I'm down over 100 pounds since my heaviest. So I did lose a lot of weight. Uh, the IBS is completely gone. The depression's completely gone. I'm off every single one of those medications. And the craziest thing that happened for me was 1 year on carnivore. After 1 year, I felt so good. I'm like, because before this, like I said, I would stand up and I would get dizzy. I was always fatigued. I was always tired. The simplest tasks, and I was always tired. But after a year on carnivore, even before that, but I remember about a year on carnivore, I'm like, I could run a marathon right now. I was exercising, I was lifting weights, like I was doing things I'd never done before. And I said to my wife, I said, I feel like I don't have congestive heart failure anymore because every symptom they told me is just gone. And I said, I'm gonna make an appointment. I'm gonna go to the doctor. And I haven't gone to the doctor at all on carnivore. I've had no reason to. And 1 year on carnivore, I'm like, this is the first time in my life I'm going to the doctor with nothing wrong with me. I want to see, I want them to test my heart and see where it's at. And they did all sorts of tests on my heart, uh, including a heart echo, like an ultrasound of my heart. And they looked at like 50 different metrics on my heart. And I had the ultrasound before this. And after the test, the doctor said, I reversed my congestive heart failure. I no longer have evidence of cardiomyopathy. And this is all in my medical records. I've shared this on my YouTube channel before, but even besides no longer having the congestive heart failure, that was crazy. When they diagnosed me with congestive heart failure, they said, this is chronic and you're going to have it for the rest of your life. They said at the very best, you might be able to keep it the same, but it's never going to get better. That's exactly what they told me. Not only did it get better, it's completely undetectable. If I went to just some random cardiologist now and he looked at my heart, he would never know that I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure or cardiomyopathy in the first place. It's completely gone.
Wow.
And in the heart echo, like that was crazy. I was so excited about that. But in the heart echo, they do like there's like 40 different things they look at. They look at the size of the heart, they look at the thickness of the walls of the heart, they look at the stroke volume of the heart. Every single one of my metrics improved, including my heart was getting larger from the congestive heart failure, which is dangerous. It was getting larger. It went back down to a normal size. This is 1 year on carnivore. And people are like, oh, that's crazy. I've literally shared every single one of my medical records on YouTube. And I'm just an anecdote, right? I'm just one person, but my YouTube channel is pretty popular. And so I've had thousands of comments from people. I have had so many people say the exact same thing. They went carnivore, they reversed their congestive heart failure, or their cardiomyopathy went away, or they improved or gotten rid of their AFib. The last thing too, sorry, I'm rambling now.
No,
The
no.
last thing too is I've had an irregular heartbeat since birth. Since I was born, I used to have to wear this big heart monitor to school all the time because my heartbeat was so erratic. And the last heart test I had before carnivore, 45% of my heartbeats were premature. I also had a heart murmur. After 1 year on carnivore, it's completely gone, which is just, it's crazy. Like, I don't even know how that's possible. I had that since birth. And it's literally in my medical records. The doctor even said you no longer have the heart murmurs are gone. They're just completely gone. Every single time I would go to the doctor, the nurse would check my heart and she'd say, "Oh, wow, do you know you've got an irregular heartbeat?" And every time I'm like, "Yes, it's in my medical records. You guys check it every time and you tell me this every single time." And it's completely gone on carnivore. It's just it blows my mind. It's a weird thing too because most people diagnosed with congestive heart failure aren't going to do what I did. They're not going to only eat meat. They're all steered in the other direction. Don't eat any meat whatsoever. So it's really sort of uncharted territory. But Dr. Ovadia has talked to thousands of people that have done the same thing at this point, and I'm really hoping at some point we can get some actual science or studies or case studies or something put together on this because most people aren't doing it.
Mm. And no one will give money for that. So
Right.
we have to do it all by ourselves. Uh,
Yeah, that's why these little the individual stories, I tell everyone like tell your story. That's the most important thing. That was the evidence I needed was Dante's story to go do this. So share your story with others because that's probably the only change we're going to see. Because like you said, these any science or studies, most of the science is misleading and all of it's just incredibly expensive. Nobody's doing it unless they can sell a pharmaceutical at the end. There's no
mhm.
pharmaceutical here. It's just eat proper foods. That's it.
Yeah, no money there. And
Right.
exactly the medicine told that these things are irreversible. So you can't reverse these things like the heart failure. And also to my husband who had Hashimoto thyroid problem, and he was told that he will start one day to eat medicaments for the rest of his life, but he didn't
Mm.
want to do it. That's why he started to look the different ways. So we knocked every door we found, and the last one was the carnivore that really helped. So
Wow.
recently we have been 1.5 year about plus something on carnivore diet, and recently he did new tests, and new doctor called him back and was asking, "Do you take some medicaments?" Because it was the numbers was going low, and now he have the lowest numbers there. It still shows the Hashimoto antibodies, but he haven't had such a low number in 10 years. So
Wow.
something is working here.
That's
we
amazing.
Yeah, and they told that you can't heal from that. Similar with your story.
That's one of my biggest angers I have in the world, I guess, is so many people are diagnosed with whether it's Hashimoto's or depression or cancer or type 2 diabetes. And it's either like you can't heal, you can't cure, or There's nothing we can do except for this expensive medication. That's always what it is. And one thing they do, I don't know if this is intentional or not, but doctors do this all the time is, well, it's just genetics. It's a fluke. It's just you. And therefore, there's nothing you can do about it except take this medication. They do it with diabetes all the time. I have loved ones suffering from diabetes. My cousin, he just had his second leg amputated from type 2 diabetes. He lost his foot, then he lost his leg. Now he's lost his other leg. And he's no matter, even me, like trying to convince him. His doctors told him it's genetics, it's a fluke. It's genetics because his mom had type 2 diabetes. His mom has type 2 diabetes because she eats excessive carbohydrates and junk food, and she passed that down to her son. That's not genetics, that's just lifestyle passing down. But that's one of the biggest things I tell people. Like, if you go to the doctor and they say, we don't know, it's genetics, it's a fluke. I'm always like, if you don't know, then how can you know that this medication is the answer if you don't even know the root cause of what caused this in the first place? You just throw your hands up in the air. It's you should be doing more research if your doctor tells you we don't know and it's a fluke or genetics, because I can almost guarantee you it's not.
Hmm. Yeah, it's most easy thing to reverse the diabetes too.
Yeah,
And I don't know, 100 years ago or so, they were testing the urine uh, by mouth, and if it was sweet, then it meant that they have diabetes. They didn't have the correct name then to this.
right.
This is overload of the sugar, of the carbs in your system that your body is trying to get rid of, and one day it will be too tired of that, and then you have these all these complications. And then the insulin came out, and this is again good money, but just change your diet, remove what's causing the problem, the carbs, and you
Yeah,
don't have to lose your legs, your eyesight, you don't have the, I don't know, dementia, heart problems, all of that. Your life can be so improved by that, and you don't lose anything. You will gain health and freedom. Like this
yeah,
feels like freedom when you don't have aches and pains everywhere. Like I couldn't stand up from the couch, and I was in pain all the time. So that's the freedom. This
yeah.
this tastes like a freedom. Of course, I miss
People,
sometimes some carbs, but this tastes better.
right? Yeah, people do that's one thing that's hard to explain. People don't realize what they're missing out on until you have this freedom. And it's like I see people, they get mad, like, wait a minute, I could have felt this good my whole life. And then you realize, like, this is how all humans should feel and would feel if we weren't just slowly poisoning ourselves with this stuff. And the type 2 diabetes we were just talking about, it is one of the most easily reversible conditions I have seen of anything, to the point that I've interviewed people, they're mad. They're like, it was like 2 weeks. Like I stopped carbohydrates. It was like 2, 3 weeks. And I was taking this medication for 15 years, losing vision. People are losing limbs. It's the first time in the history of mankind people have had limbs amputated from the foods they're eating. Like that should blow people's minds. Like it would be war or some industrial accident, you'd lose a limb. Never because we're poisoning ourselves with food to cause us to go blind and lose our limbs. And it's crazy to me how it happens slowly. So people are just like, oh, that's just normal. Like that person's legs chopped off from eating too much sugar. Oh, that's just the way it is. It slowly happens over time, and the human brain tends to sort of normalize it. But yeah, once you get this freedom, it's hard not to want it for other people. Like imagine if the whole world felt this way. It just felt amazing and full of energy and free, and it'd be a whole different world for sure.
Yeah, it feels like birthright that everybody should have. It's not normal to get old and get sick.
Yeah.
But it just gets old, and that's it. You don't have to suffer many years or
Yeah.
decades before that. But I'm thinking like now when USA have changed the food pyramid, and Estonia will not do that yet. They are like quite against it. They still stick to the same old pyramid. I hope one day it will change, but I'm thinking how that would change the system there, or people health, because it's now more balanced. There is steak, there is healthy fats, and very few grains, and all this pyramid is how to say, not that people are looking it so much, but kindergarten, schools, they are making their meals about this pyramid.
Right.
And
Yeah, I was excited to see some of those changes for sure. I think it does a big thing for awareness too. Like people are like, "Whoa, wait, what's going on here?" But for like you said, for the schools and a lot of the guidelines go into what we feed our children in schools. So there's definitely some positive changes there. It's uh it's a hard thing though, because some people are just so addicted and they normalize it. And then the kid comes home from school and they give them a bunch of junk food. But it's a step in the right direction for sure.
yeah, at least maybe somebody starts to asking, wait, what? Just recently meat was bad, fat was bad, now it's there. Let's
Right?
look into that. Let's hope it can open people's eyes more.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Small steps to the right direction.
Right.
Okay, so I also wanted to talk about you are growing now your own food. You got chickens, yes? You bought some. How many of them?
Yeah. So, well, we have a little homestead here for about 11 years now. We've had chickens on and off, but
Mm,
we last year we have I think 30 chickens now. They're not meat chickens, they're egg laying chickens at this point. And it's been incredible. So I'm eating a proper human diet, what humans have eaten since the start of time, and I'm like, I want to feed chickens a proper chicken diet. The problem with a lot of eggs that you get, first of all, eggs you get from the grocery store, I mean, it's a million times better than what people are eating here on the standard American diet. I always say if you can do better, do better. And because we can have our own chickens, I'm like, I want to feed them a proper chicken diet. One problem with a lot of chickens is they're fed grain, and a lot of the grain has chemicals and glyphosate on it. And if that goes into the chicken, that ends up in the chicken meat or the chicken egg. And then as humans, we end up consuming that. And at low levels, it's not going to kill you. You probably won't even notice it. But I've been doing so amazing on carnivore. I'm really cognizant of what I put in my body, what I put on my body, or what I put in my body. So, yeah, we got 30 chickens and we decided we're going to feed them a proper chicken diet. Chickens forage for bugs and grubs. They eat mice. They eat whatever they find in the yard and no grains whatsoever. And we've been doing that. We're probably coming up on maybe a year or 8 months. It's been really tough in winter. It's cold out right now. But in the summertime, they just free range around the yard. And in the wintertime, we've been supplementing their diet actually with fat trimmings and bugs and grubs that we have to purchase. And it's been amazing. They're like some people have probably heard this. Like you get an egg from the grocery store, it's really good. You get a farm fresh egg, it's even better. The yolk is more yellow, you could just taste it. But then you go one step further to the proper chicken diet egg, it spoiled me. Like I'm spoiled now. If I go somewhere else and eat an egg, I'm like, I want to go home and eat my own eggs. It's just full of all the nutrients and everything. So yeah, it's been incredible. It's hard right now because we have a brutal cold freeze here. It's everything's frozen.
Here
So
too.
the chickens don't lay a lot of eggs this
Mm,
time of year. So I don't get as much. But yeah, it's been amazing. I've been looking into at some point because we do have it's like a small little farm basically. We've never done anything more than chickens. I lived in the city before I moved here, so I don't even know what I'm doing. So we took baby steps, like let's get the chickens and figure that out. But I would like to get a cow at some point. That would be amazing. But my neighbor lives right down the road. He's a sixth generation farmer and he raises beef. So we get a lot of our meat from him down the road. And I've talked to him before. I'm like, hey, if I get like a cow, can you help me? Like, I want
mm,
to make sure I'm doing it properly and feeding it properly and I got to get the fencing and stuff set up, but maybe in the future. But for now, the chickens have been great.
that's nice. That's our idea also to start with the chicken, then maybe goats, then maybe one day beef to,
Yeah,
to grow our own food so we can control what they are eating and then what we are eating. Like
yeah,
it's all full lifestyle, not just changing the diet.
yeah, 100%. And just the eggs alone, it's a huge part of my diet. People will say on carnivore, how can you afford that? What do you eat? I'm very blessed that I have the chicken eggs, but when we first started carnivore, I'd just go to the grocery store and buy eggs. And eggs and ground beef. That's primarily what my diet has been. Like if I look on a pie chart, that's the majority of what I've been eating, just fatty red meat and eggs and mostly ground beef or burger patties. I do love steak and ribeye, but that's usually more of a treat. And I was just talking to my wife. I'm like, I don't remember the last time I had a ribeye. It's been a couple months now. I've been doing a lot of chuck roasts and slow cooked meat and things like that, but usually the less expensive cuts of meat, they're actually pretty good if you cook them slowly.
Yeah, slow cooked are very delicious. I love them, but we have a histamine problem. So that's why
Ah,
we try to eat steaks as often as we can, quite raw,
yeah.
so we don't have any problems.
That's a huge thing too. I've learned on this journey. Anybody watching this, so many people doing carnivore, they're thriving. There's very little problems, but if there is a problem, oftentimes it's histamine, and I think a lot of people they don't know. It's like that's another thing we need more education on. But my friend Lynn, midlife carnivore, she's awesome. She talks about histamine and has histamine issues also. I'm thankful that's one thing I've been able to not have so far, but yeah,
Yeah, you can't choose it. Here it
right.
was like I had runny nose many years. I didn't know why, and now I have only when I eat just slow cooked meat, few things. Then I have little bit, but not all day like I used to have. So it have gone better.
Nice. That's what happened for my friend Lynn too.
Mm.
She started carnivore. She had to do lion diet,
Mhm.
low histamine. So very strict, but I think after like a year, she was able to start adding more things back. So it kind of healed for her, went away a bit. I guess they say you have like a histamine bucket and it can fill up. So if you don't fill it up too quick, you can kind of baseline and have some of those things. So
Mhm. Yeah, I was like half year quite lion, and then started to take things and try fish and the eggs and so on. So I wasn't so patient. Maybe I should do lion longer time. But it's life. I can manage this way too, and I can always go more strict. That's a nice thing to do. You can
yeah.
be more liberate some days, and then go back to the strict diet.
Yeah. I've done lion on and off on carnivore. I did it once for I think 4 months. I felt so good doing it that way too. Every time I do it, I'll just get a little bored and then I'll add some
Mhm.
bacon back or something. But I always tend to, every couple months I go back. I'm like, I'm going to do lion diet for 30 days or whatever. I just feel so much better doing it.
Somehow, yeah. The I don't know. The stomach is more calm, less cravings. I feel when I'm eating more stuff like heavy cream or cheese or even eggs, I have like more appetite. I want to snack more. And when I'm doing the lion, it's just 2 meals of the day, and rest is just very calm. I don't think about food, and also the histamine is going better. All problems if I start to have more, because when I'm also eating bacon, I have or drinking more coffee. That's a shame. But then I
Right.
start to have my old problems back are coming, like back pain and so on, or stomach problems, IBS symptoms of that. So I quickly switched to the lion, and everything is going better very quickly. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So simple. So simple.
Yep.
Yeah. Uh, and also these eggs compared to the store bought, are these like more delicious? Do you notice the taste difference also?
Yeah, they taste better in my opinion. The yolk is larger and richer and it just yeah, it tastes better. And I don't know, it might be a bit of a placebo, but I feel like I feel better when I eat those. Every now and then when I eat store-bought eggs, I get some inflammation or issues, and I never have that with these. So, uh, but I always tell people like just do the best you can because not everyone obviously can get their own chicken eggs. And for the majority of the time on carnivore, I've been doing this for over 1,000 days. We've only had the chickens like 9 months. So the majority of the time I was mostly just getting store-bought eggs and doing a million times better than what I was doing before carnivore. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I say the same. If people are saying like, I like pork so much, I don't like beef, then I'm explaining what is the difference. But if you don't feel the difference, or if you don't have better options, then the pork is still better than sandwiches. So
yeah,
it's still better. So enjoy it, and maybe one day you want to taste more the beef or change the diet. But I think that's the best. Do what you can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I also remember you were drinking fermented drink. How this have been for you? Do you still drink it? Do you recommend it? What it have changed for you?
Yeah, I got in a lot of trouble for doing some fermented stuff. People online were going nuts. So I had Dr. Sean O'Mara on my YouTube channel, and he advocates for a strict carnivore diet, but with some fermented foods. And he's got some really good reasoning behind it. But I talked to Dr. O'Mara. I had a woman on my channel, Malia, who specializes in gut health, that recommended fermented foods, and a couple other people. And I was like, no, I don't want to have anything to do with any of that. I'm doing so good on carnivore. Why would I add anything in? But then Dr. O'Mara made a really good point. I said to him, I said, Dr. O'Mara, here's the rules I live by. I will do whatever is ancestrally appropriate. So my ancestors have been eating meat for as long as they've been breathing air and drinking water. They've been drinking water, and they also fasted a lot. Like, we never had access to all of this food. So fasting was a regular part of it. So I eat meat, drink water, I fast. I don't want to add anything else. But then he said, whoa, whoa, Kerry, if you want to do what's ancestrally appropriate, you have to realize that your gut, and this is me in particular, I'm not telling everybody, but my gut in particular is not ancestrally appropriate. Because before doing carnivore, I was diagnosed with Barrett's esophagus. I had bloody ulcers in my gut. I had IBS, and I had a stretch where I took so many antibiotics that just completely destroyed my gut. So he's like, your gut isn't ancestrally appropriate. Like, your great grandparents wouldn't have had a broken gut like you had. So that was his argument for some of these fermented foods, was to diversify the gut bacteria by adding some of these things in. And there's certain microbes that we had in our gut literally since the start of time. Since our genesis, we've had these, and they've been gone over the last 100 years or so, from antibiotics, from glyphosate, from all these chemicals. And so those were his arguments. And then he said, listen, Kerry, you don't have to eat a vegetable, because that was the other thing too. I'm like, I don't want to eat any vegetables. Like, I'm anti-vegetable. He's like, you could just have some of the juice from like sauerkraut. And it's, if you get the proper stuff, it's got all the bacteria in it. Maybe try that. So I did that 2 or 3 times, and I didn't love it. And then I said the other thing that he advocated for was fermented yogurt, making your own yogurt at home. And long story short, I saw another video a couple months ago by Dr. Davis. And Dr. Davis is like a famous doctor. He wrote a book called Wheat Belly, and some books on your gut. And he's advocating for this homemade yogurt. It's a fermented yogurt, and it has this. It's called L-reuteri, which is a bacteria that we've had since our genesis, and it's wiped out. And he advocates for this yogurt to bring it back. And so I heard Dr. Davis, Dr. Sean O'Mara. I had this woman on my channel. So I'm like, I haven't really done much dairy. Like, I never did heavy cream. I almost never had cheese on carnivore till recently. And even now I just have it like as a condiment. But I'm like, almost every carnivore I know, they still have dairy. So I'm like, what's the big deal? I'll try this. So I made the yogurt myself. And for probably, I would say maybe 3 or 4 months now, I've been having it. Dr. O'Mara recommends just like a spoonful of this yogurt with the meat. That's it. Like, I'm not eating like a bowl of yogurt. It's like a spoonful every day. And I noticed within a couple weeks, I'm like, I felt so good on carnivore. I didn't think I could feel any better. I'm like, I've reached the ceiling. I can't feel any better than this. But after taking the yogurt, I felt better. I like, a couple things happened. My mood improved. And my mood is pretty darn good. Like, I'm pretty upbeat on carnivore. But my wife even noticed, she's like, you just seem like happier, like just all like cheery all the time. It was noticeable. My sleep also improved. And then the third thing, and this might be a little too much information for people, but it's the truth. Dr. O'Mara was, when I interviewed him, he kind of shocked me. All of a sudden, he had a stick and he pulled out a chart, and it's basically a poop chart. It's a medical chart. It's called the Bristol stool chart, and it shows you the different types of stool. And he's like, this number 4 right here, this is the healthy stool. And he's like, if your gut is healthy, you should have a number 4. And then he showed all these other types of stool too. And it's kind of gross, but it is what it is. And I'm like, I don't have a number 4. I'm perfectly normal and regular on carnivore. Like I go to the bathroom perfectly fine, but I wasn't having a number four, and that kind of bothered me because I'm like, I feel so good on carnivore. Why am I not having that number four? And after I started the yogurt, I now have consistent number fours. So the stool changed, the sleep changed, and my mood improved. And so I'm continuing to do it. A lot of people got mad at me on YouTube. They're like, that's crazy, that's nuts, whatever. I'm like, first of all, you do you, I'll do me. I'm not telling anybody what to do. This was a personal experiment. And like I said in the video, my gut was absolutely destroyed. Maybe your gut wasn't destroyed, so you probably don't need to do it. But I wasn't ever going to say anything because, as you probably know, there's been a lot of people recently, a couple people, two, maybe three, that went on and like, I added carbs back or I changed things, and everyone goes nuts. And I'm like, I don't want to mislead anyone. So I did this for 60 days. And then I was never going to talk about it, but I felt better. And I have a lot of people that say, I'm doing carnivore, but I'm still having problems in the bathroom or I'm still having gut issues. And so I wanted to do this video for people like that. Like, well, if that's you, maybe consider trying this yogurt. And by the way, if you're carnivore, you're probably already have heavy cream or dairy anyway. This is literally a spoonful of clean homemade yogurt. I literally make it myself. It's super clean. So yeah, I'm not saying like if you're considering starting carnivore, I'm not saying, oh, go start carnivore and make this yogurt. You have to do it. No, I would just go do carnivore for 30 days. And if you have some of these gut issues that might be rare for some people, maybe consider trying the yogurt or don't. I don't care. I'm just sharing my truth. Like I feel better doing it. And I wanted to let other people know that in case they had the same gut issues that I did. I think a lot of people, here's one thing I learned on carnivore. Like I'm in ketosis, right? I'm healing all of these things. I never realized how big the gut plays into that, in particular, the gut bacteria.
Mhm.
And when you talk to some of the good doctors, these good carnivore doctors, I filmed all of them for the documentary. They're all incredible. But some of them will say, like, we know nothing about gut bacteria, gut biome. They'll say it's like the ocean. We know 1% of it. But then on the flip side, some of them will also say, like a week later, yeah, but eating yogurt does nothing. Or it doesn't matter what you eat, it'll just adjust. And I'm like, how can you say we know nothing about gut bacteria, but then you're so definitively confident that eating some fermented yogurt does nothing? I'm like, I don't know how those two can be true. I'm not claiming I know the science behind it or anything, but it's kind of like carnivore. I didn't need science to tell me to do carnivore. It was individual stories. So I'm like, just you do you, I'll do me. But it definitely has helped me. And I literally just made another batch up. Every meal, I do it once a day, like a spoonful. That's it. It's not like a big bowl of it. And I make the yogurt myself, and yeah, it's something I think I'll probably continue to do. It may be something that kind of like with your histamine issue, maybe I do this for a couple months and then I don't need to do it anymore and everything's just the same. So we'll see. It's kind of a personal experiment I'm going on here.
Yeah, cool. I also do different experiments with my body to see how it's reacting. Like I was trying to eat a small potato, like 60 grams, two times in the evening to see how it's fixing my sleep, maybe. But I'm constantly forgetting to boil the potato because I don't care about this. And I'm not dogmatic, so I'm not like acting like, oh, I'm the carnivore and I'm hating the veggies and so on, and no one should eat veggies. No, everybody can do what they want to do. I was like plant-based almost 40 years, and I'm not against anything. Like whatever works for you, if it's I don't know, fermented something or potato or cucumber, whatever, or honey, do do what you like to do, how you feel the most optimal, so to speak.
Yes. Yeah,
Of
I
course.
always encourage people to like, don't see someone on YouTube like me or Paul Saladino and then be like, I'm going to do that. Like, experiment, be curious. Maybe do that if you think what they had the same issue as you. But I see that a lot where people are like, I just do that. I'm always just cautious with people and suggest do 30 days strict carnivore. Think about adding some stuff in like the yogurt or anything else, like the potato, whatever, but give yourself a chance to heal first for the 30 days. Because I get a lot of people on my channel that they're horribly addicted to carbohydrates. and they'll see like Paul Saladino, who by the way is great. Like he's found healing, but I always look at Paul Saladino and there's people like me that are 100 pounds overweight and they see Paul Saladino and they're like, I'm going to do meat only and I'm going to have cantaloupe and fruit and strawberries and berries. And I'm like, if I did that when I started, I'd be off the rails because I'm so addicted to any sort of carbohydrates that it wouldn't be sustainable. I always tell people too, I'm like, Paul Saladino wasn't 100 pounds overweight. He wasn't necessarily addicted like many of us were. So it's not, it's sometimes it's dangerous to kind of compare to people online. It's good to learn and be curious and then experiment on yourself. But that's my best advice for people, like we were saying earlier. Give it 30 days strict. And then if you want to try some honey or some Paul Saladino stuff, do it after you heal. Once you heal, that's a good time to add things back and experiment.
Yeah, that's really good point. Because when I was messed up and when I was just healing, I didn't think anything about anything else. I just wanted to get healed. And once the body is healed, then it's like, but maybe let's try this or let's try that. Maybe I can heat it. But since now, when I have tried something like blueberries few times in the summer or these potatoes or once cucumber, I don't miss anything. And I feel like they are empty. They don't give anything and I am craving meat because then I feel fulfilled and then I feel like I get nutrition in my body.
Yeah,
So yeah, people are so addicted and they are like looking ways how they can manage their addiction. Like Paul Saladino is doing this, I can do it also. But no, you are not Paul Saladino. You are not working out so much, and maybe you are living in cold areas where there are no pineapples and mangoes and bananas and yeah, it's dangerous to follow somebody and then copy that because
right.
everybody is in different situation and
Well, and also that the addiction part of it, I think that's a big problem for so many people. That was my problem because I did keto diets for years before finding carnivore, but I never admitted I was addicted to carbs. So I would do keto, which I mean, carnivore is keto. Carnivore is just a stricter version of keto. But I would do strict keto, and then I'd be like, I did good all week, and I'll have some berries, and then it would turn into more and more and more and more.
mhm,
And I was just constantly I was trying to moderate my addiction, and that was the thing I found on carnivore is it's like I'm abstaining from my addiction, and then when you think about it, what other addiction can you moderate like that? Like if I was addicted to alcohol, and I was a horrible alcoholic my entire life, I couldn't on Saturday be like I'm just gonna get drunk today and then I'll be fine. Like it would, I'd be drunk the next day and the next day, and you just it makes it so much harder. The people I see struggling on carnivore are usually the ones that don't commit for 30 days strictly. And it's not me being dogmatic. People are like, "Oh, you're so strict." I say that out of love for people because I see people suffering. They'll try carnivore for 30 days, but they'll keep in diet soda or artificial sweeteners, or they'll have some berries on the weekend because they did good. And then they're constantly craving more of that. And they're like, I don't know how you do this. It's so hard. And it's like you get over that, like you said, and I just crave meat. You get a switch goes off at some point where you're like, I don't care about that entertainment addiction food anymore. And it's just I'm eating for fuel now. And when that happens, it becomes so much easier. And a lot of people don't experience that if they keep a little bit of that those sweets in there.
mhm. I see so many people coming from Keto to our Carnivore group. We have the questionnaire before they are, it's private group, and then they are filling it why, how they found it, and so on. And many mention that they have done Keto, and later tell that on Carnivore everything changed. Something didn't work in Keto for them. That's why you are moving somewhere else and trying something else. So and I think lots of us are addicted to the carbs and to, you can't moderate carbs, then you just have to be very strict with that.
Right.
Yeah. And you mentioned many times your documentary, your mission, I believe. Like here is the
Yeah.
mission to share this in Estonia, but you are doing that documentary. Tell me how far is this work? When it will be ready?
It is so close. So yeah, I've been healing humanity. I've been filming this all over the world for 2.5 years now. We filmed 60 interviews all over the world. We filmed in Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, all over the United States. We filmed 9 doctors. The purpose of the documentary was like I learned about this from Dante Ferrigno, an individual story, and I'm like, these stories are so powerful. And I shared my story on YouTube, and then I had so many people reach out to me and say, I healed my depression, I healed my heart disease. I'm like, why isn't this front page news? More people should know about this. And it's great what's happening on YouTube, but YouTube is just a little small percentage. Like there's so many people that aren't on YouTube that have access to this information. And I learned about ketogenic diet. I mentioned earlier I was on keto before. I learned about that through a documentary years ago, like 10 or 15 years ago. And it really changed my I'm going to start this because of the documentary. It was that powerful. I'm like, why isn't there a documentary on carnivore? These people are healing, like major depression, healing. Parkinson's, dementia, type 2 diabetes, all of these things are just healing left and right. I don't understand why more people don't know about this. So yeah, I decided there's no documentary. I guess I'll just have to do one. How hard could that be? Which was very foolish. And now it's been 2.5 years and we're completely done filming and we're this close to being done editing. In fact, I was just talking to our editor. He's going to be done editing within about 2 weeks. And we're going to be doing it's typical with a movie to do a private screening. I'm trying to be cautious about this because I don't want carnivores to show up, but we're going to do a private screening to the general public, to the non-carnivore public, because that's the goal of the documentary. In the documentary, just real quick, sorry, I didn't even really describe it. We're filming real people. And the premise was let's follow a couple people over the course of a year that are doing a proper human diet to overcome major health issues. So there's a couple people we actually followed for a year. And then there's many other people. We filmed 50 people, 9 doctors, about 60 people total. And there's a couple people that have done this already for a year or 2 years or 3 years, and they've documented their journey. So the purpose is to show not like the documentary isn't the biology and science of a strict ketogenic diet. It's not that. The documentary is incredible stories of healing. People that were so sick, they were so desperate, they had to do this strict elimination diet, a proper human diet, a carnivore diet to find healing. And then what happens when they do. So, yeah, we followed our first person was Bill in Alaska, who was 700 pounds, stuck in his house for almost 5 years. He hadn't gone outdoors in almost 5 years and he was horribly depressed. We filmed him on day one, and then we had to wait a whole year to film him 1 year later. His story is just incredible. He's down right now over 360 pounds, but he doesn't even care about the weight. He overcame the depression. A couple of weeks into carnivore, he called me. He was crying. He said, I want to get out of bed for the first time in like 20 years. I want to do something. And he said, my inflammation in my back, it's hurt for 30 years. It's gone. It's all gone. So we're this close to being done with the documentary. And then we're going to do a private screening to the general public to see, like, did we hit the mark? Because I'm so close to this. You're so close to this. I have a feeling if you watch this or any of your carnivore audience watches it, they're going to love it. What I want to know, though, is the general public, like my neighbor, my uncle that's sick with diabetes and can't wrap their brain around carnivore. Will they understand this? What sort of feedback will they have? So that's what we're doing. We're doing that in the next 3 weeks. And then after that, we're hoping to share it with the world. So it's very, very soon. People always ask, when can I watch it? Where can I watch it? We don't know right now. Mm-hmm. And the reason we don't know is because we've consulted with some major documentary filmmakers, a firm that just does consulting with major films. And all of their advice was, do not make any agreement with the distributor until you're 100% done. We could have made an agreement with the distributor a year ago or months ago, but then that distributor would have biased the documentary. Frankly, that's what always happens. Oh, we want you to do this instead of this, or we want you to say this instead of this. We have no bias in our documentary. It's been completely 100% crowdfunded. I haven't taken a single paycheck. The money from the shirt sales and all that go towards the documentary. So we're trying to keep it unbiased, but in the next couple of weeks, we'll have an official announcement where everyone can watch it. The goal, though, the last thing I'll say is the goal is to be as accessible to as many people as possible. So it'll probably be like on it's going to be in the movie theater first. And then it'll probably be on a big streaming service. And then it'll probably just be like on a website or YouTube. We're not trying to make any money. We don't care about that. We want it to reach everyone. there's just rules on how you release it. So if we do it in the movie theater, there's certain rules. Like I can't just do it on the movie theater and put it on YouTube at the same time. They won't let it be in the movie theater on the streaming service. So there's going to be a little bit of like a cascade where it comes out in a couple different places, but very, very soon. We're so close. I can't wait for people to see it. I just watched the rough cut of it yesterday.
Okay, cool. I try to keep my eye on it. So as soon as it's somewhere available, I will make sure that everybody see it in Estonia. I'm sharing it in my channel and in my webpage also because I'm so much waiting it already so long time. So I have
Yeah,
the same
I
questions: when, where, how.
very soon. I can't wait for you to see it. And we're going to be doing something kind of interesting, but like I said, we want to have it in theaters first, and we're hoping to have it in a lot of theaters all over the world. And I'll talk to you more about it, but I don't know if there's an option. But for example, like in Estonia, if there's a independent movie theater somewhere, we could actually like organize with you a group of people that could then go watch it in the theater. So we're hoping to do that at different locations all over. We've been doing meetups all over the world because like we filmed Dr. Sean Baker in Washington. So we filmed Dr. Baker. We did a meetup at a movie theater. We didn't show the documentary because it wasn't done yet, but we showed some clips from it. We had a meetup there, but we're hoping to do meetups, all carnivore meetups all around the world and premiere the documentary at the same time.
Okay, I will check that information here in Estonia, how and if it's possible, it would be amazing to
Yeah.
show it here. Yeah, let's keep in touch. So if someone wants to support the project, what's the best way to do that right now?
Yeah, well, the advice I give to people is first of all, share your story. That's the most powerful thing you can do. Even if you're just posting it on Facebook or social media, or maybe start a YouTube channel, or you go do an interview like we're doing here. Dave Mack has interviewed 1,500, like he's gonna hit 2,000 people at some point. Go share your story because that's what's gonna really, it could save someone's life. Like Dante sharing his story saved my life. In terms of supporting this, you can buy these shirts. You can donate to our GoFundMe. That's all at healinghumanity.movie. And if you go to healinghumanity.movie, you can also watch, we have the two trailers on there. So if you're like, I don't know what they're talking about with this documentary, you can watch the trailers there. If you donate, the best way to support us is donating through GoFundMe. And we are at, the whole thing has been crowdfunded. It's been amazing. It's so expensive to do it. I had no idea what I was getting into when I announced this. It's so expensive to do it properly, but I'm very proud with what we did. Like, I think you guys, I think you're going to be really excited once you see it. But it's expensive to do it properly. And we're at the most expensive part now. The editor's finishing things, but then we have to market it. And that's incredibly expensive. And then after that, we want to do a series. We filmed 400 hours of footage. We have enough footage right now to do probably like 20 episodes. I have a whole episode on depression, a whole episode on autoimmune disorders, a whole episode on diabetes. We have all of it filmed already. We just don't have the money. Like we have money left in the bank, but it's all going to the main documentary and then marketing it. We can't do it simultaneously. So any other donations we get will help us market the documentary and then work on the series in the future, which I'm almost more excited about the series because if you have a loved one with Hashimoto's or some autoimmune disorder, you'd be like, here's a whole episode on it with a doctor that specializes in that and people that have healed from that particular health issue. That would be so much more powerful to share with a loved one that's going through a particular health issue.
Amazing. I will put all the links under this video to the descriptions, so it's very easy to find you. Kerry, thank you very much for sharing
Thank
your
you.
story so openly. Yeah, it was so fascinating to hear all of it from you directly. And I'm really excited about the documentary and I can't wait to see it. So let me know when it's out, or I try to keep my eye on it, and I will share it in my community definitely. So thank you very
Oh,
much.
thank you. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity and the interview. And thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, good luck with finishing this documentary and letting it out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.